Hi again, everybody. Tony Ross back here at our Auto Park Studios as we bring you Marshall County Today, a new talk show aimed at informing you about stories of people, businesses around your neighborhood. Great to be with you as our guest today. We welcome in our wonderful friends from United Way. Hi, gals. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Tony?
How are you doing, young lady?
Yes.
Good.
Well, welcome, and United Way, you guys continue to stay busy. A lot of nice, neat stuff to talk about. And so let's go ahead, and Linda, we'll start with you.
Yeah. So we were just looking at the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, the statistics on that. We've got, 392?
Yeah, just short on 400 this morning.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
That is. So this actually really kind of caught on like wildfire, didn't it?
It is.
And for our listeners who may be hearing about this for the first time, explain the Dolly Parton Reading Program.
Absolutely. So this program has been around for a while. In fact, it's a global program. It was started by Dolly Parton in honor of her father. Her father wasn't able to read or write, and so Dolly recognized how important that was to him. That children have the opportunity to learn to read at an early age, and so that's what started this program. And basically, what they're doing is putting free books in the hands of children from the day they're born until they have their 5th birthday. And so every month, as a parent or grandparent, caregiver signs the child up, and then every month they get a free book from the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, and it's all age appropriate. They do a careful selection process, and they all are geared toward the age of the child at that time. But it's a really neat program, global now. It's very big. So Indiana, last year, our state legislators said this is important enough. We need to support the literacy for our young students, and so this is a great program to jumpstart that activity at a very early age. And so they funded it. 50% of the cost of the program is funded by our state legislators.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad we've been able to get a part. Now, how did we get a part of that with United Way?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm a former librarian, so I've had my eye on this program for a while. But honestly, I went to a convening of community foundations actually earlier this year, and heard again about the program and how much emphasis the state was putting on all of our counties having access to this program. And in the meantime, we had already talked with community foundation donors that said, "This is a great idea. I want to be part of it. I want to fund the first year," kind of thing. So that's what started it, and is kind of the synergy between the two organizations. Is it United Way? Is it Community Foundation? In this case, it's both. Right. So United Way is the fiscal agent for this, and we're spearheading it through United Way, but Community Foundation is very much a partner in this as well. And we expect that we're reaching out to schools, child care providers, libraries. There's been a lot of interest in those other organizations as well, helping support the program.
That's awesome. I love it. I'm glad to hear the good news about this, and the numbers continue to increase.
That's right.
So this is good stuff.
Yeah, I think about it. That's that time. I remember reading with my kids and my grandkids, and just that connection with them as you're reading that book together. That is so valuable too, and what I wouldn't give for some of those days again, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, I used to have those kind of programs back when we were, in school, and even today. But anyways, I think it's a wonderful thing that we're doing, and to be part of such a prestigious program from an important celebrity who believes in reading. Yeah, this is a good cup of coffee. This is a good cup of coffee.
You need to come visit our office.
Yeah.
We have a life-size Dolly Parton greeter at the door.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we do.
You should come take a selfie with Dolly.
There you go. So we got that going on. What else do we got going on?
Well, yeah. So we have, last week we hosted at the Reese, we had an event we've been working with community partners since February. We got a grant to do a housing gap analysis, and we did the point in time count right in January, and had a lot of data that we could work with there. But we also, from the state health department, we received this grant to do a housing gap analysis, and we really caught their attention through the stellar process. Our health department representative, Joyce Fillenworth, she was in regular contact with us. We had biweekly meetings, and she would attend a lot of those meetings, and she heard us talk about some of the housing issues in Marshall County, and that's what really captured her attention. So she told us about this grant, said you guys need to apply, and that brought Michael Fortunato with Creative Insight Community Development to the area. Michael has been working with stakeholders. We asked him to come in. We identified people that we knew that were already either nonprofits that were working with folks that had housing needs, right? Or our elected officials, those that are looking at housing projects across the county and trying to. I mean, we've heard for years housing is an issue. What are we going to do about it? Our Marshall County Economic Development Corporation, they had their quarterly meetings, County Development for the Future meetings, and we heard all the time, every single community said, housing is a need, what are we going to do? So we invited them all, whatever role they had. There were some point in time count volunteers there, but there was, about 30 people in the room, I think. At that first meeting, we had 2 meetings with stakeholders and wanted to hear what was happening and what kind of experiences they were having as part of, this process to start to understand, what we already have in Marshall County. And then identify champions, those people, who's going to be working on the policy issues, who's going to be working on, these barriers. Some of the simple things we saw were, it costs a lot to move, right?
No, it does. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. So if you've been through that, there's utility deposits. There's, if you're renting, there's a rental deposit. I mean, all of those things add up to what, $2,500, $3,000 sometimes. Makes it difficult for people to make that leap, right? Yep. So anyway, we talked about policy issues. Are there things that we can do to help, reduce those barriers or navigate those barriers, those kinds of things? That's what this is all about. We're not going to solve everything in one meeting. We're not going to solve everything, in 1 year, clearly. But, how are we going to get organized? And
is this geared toward a particular household income?
No, honestly, we said we wanted it to be the housing gap analysis. Actually, I think at the end of the day, we really are looking a lot at the low to mid income, right?
Okay.
Yeah. More so in that direction, but anyway. So in addition to that, then Michael went out. He did community conversations in every community. He was maybe at the library one place, farmers market. He was at a restaurant, different places in the community to talk to people. But really, a lot of data came in through either electronic or paper surveys. Yeah. So last week we had him come and give us just a preliminary report. He's not done yet. The report we saw was about 27 pages long. We think it's going to be more like 70 by the time he's done with it, because he has collected a lot of really good data. And
is part of that data? Is he finding that it's a reoccurring thing? Like I'm just making stuff up here. I don't know what it entailed, but taxes, for example. What some of the data he got was about certain subjects or certain categories.
Well, actually, I think, just as an example, one of the things that I thought was really interesting, he looks at our community profile, right? And he said, he started it out by saying, we're really unusual in Marshall County. It's something he hasn't seen in other communities, because he was looking at our community profile and breaking it down by age. So we've got a lot of baby boomers here, right? Mm-hmm, yeah. Aging in place. High consumption of housing will be locked in for the next 20 years with that age group, right? But in that next category, that's, and we're saying that's 50 plus, age 50 plus, right? In the next category, that's where it becomes unusual, and that's where the Xers are, the millennials, the prime home buying years. But what we see happening there is because of high interest rates, the cost of materials and that sort of thing, it's more difficult
Right.
for those.
Makes
those-
sense,
Yep.
yeah.
And it's usually what you see when you're looking at this kind of community profile. The bubble at the top is big with the boomers, and then the 20-somethings, you've got a bubble there, and then it kind of thins out in the middle. That is not happening in Marshall County. And so I don't know if it's, we haven't really looked at what might be behind that necessarily. I don't know.
So there's a gap.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, actually, if you look at it, if you were going to look at the age group, you've got the boomers up here, and then in the middle you've got the Xers and the millennials. Usually that's a little smaller group.
Right,
We're
right,
saying
right.
it's pretty steady. That group is pretty
Interesting.
large. Yep. So,
Well, I know
it-
there's been a push to bring in more of the millennials and the Xers, but at a higher level. Housing, for example, where housing is average $250,000 to $300,000 homes and stuff like that. There's been a push for that. I don't know if that's one of the reasons why there's been kind of gap between the boomers like us and the Xers and millennials.
yeah, I think that, the interesting part, we were.
I'm just using that dollar figure as an example.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting one because same day we were doing the regional housing study starts too, and we're coordinating between the two. But I heard somebody say, and at that meeting we had a lot of folks that have been in the space in the region as well, including financial institutions, and they were saying, $350,000 home is the new $250,000. Just interest rates.
That's being the number one.
Exactly. Yeah. Interest rates are making it harder for people to purchase homes, and just a down payment. There's just all sorts of things that
it's
are working
tough.
against. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to do that.
Yeah. Anyway, the other part that was interesting, and I didn't think about it this way, but typically in that Xers, millennials, in that age group, that's when people are most vulnerable to social problems. So substance use disorders and that sort of thing, just life's pressures, life stresses that occur then. So that was
Again,
interesting.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
I got to say that makes sense. And,
I know, right?
It does. It's
Yeah.
Today, life is just one big stress ball, and you got to figure out how to control the bounce.
Yes,
You know?
that's a fact.
You really do, and
That's a
that
fact.
again, this makes perfect sense, and why housing is as difficult as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the reports that we're looking at, we're seeing, Michael's report confirmed it as well, about a need for about 1,300 homes is what we're seeing right now.
Do we have the land for 1,300 homes?
Well, I think that's the other thing that we want to bring into it too, is what's the smart type of a development?
Yeah,
What are the needs for that? When Michael talked about that under 30 crowd, the Zoomers he called them. It's a large generation, which again is unusual, likely to leave the area if educational and lifestyle opportunities don't exist. But those are the prime renting years. So again, the other thing that we heard is there's a high need for rental units right now.
Right.
For that reason.
Well, I mean, I live at Centennial Crossing, and you're not going to find an apartment building that's under $1,000 there.
Right.
However, how it's ran, I actually don't mind it, to be truthful with you, because it unfortunately, I guess maybe it's just because of the way they take care of things, for starters. Mm-hmm. They have homes there that, there's a couple are for sale there now, even as we speak. But I like it because it's God, how do I say this without sounding wrong? There's a way I should be saying this, but I can't, because I can't think of how I want to say this. That price range weeds out those who not only can't afford it, but there was a point in time where, and it's just like, you go back to the garden court issue with I'm sure you're aware of. Sometimes the price range can literally separate the haves and have-nots. And that's still not how I want to say that. But the people, you can just tell the different range of people. They're either young couples that are coming to Centennial, or they're retired because there's retirement places. There's not a general range. Mm-hmm. Like I said, there's no $700 rentals. But what it's done is it's been able. Oh my God, I'm failing at trying to explain this. The price means everything. The rental cost means everything. If I couldn't afford doing that, I'd be in trouble. And, there's things that, and the mayor's going to come in and we're going to have this discussion next week about the housing situation and environment. Mm-hmm. I love Centennial Crossing because of the environment. That's on my checklist. When you're looking for a place, you need to find a place immediately. Environment is the last thing. You're trying to find some place to go.
Right.
But then you're even limited then because there's nothing there that Centennial has under $1,000 to rent. Mm-hmm. That's just the nature of that particular way they do things. And when it comes to rental, other places you can get rent for $400. May not be what you want, but that's what you got. You get what you pay for. That old adage.
Right.
And to try to marry that, I don't know if we can, to be honest with you, simply because of the financial discrepancy. I live in a place that is a little more pricey. I get better services than I would normally, compared to if I was to go to a place where I need to go. Financially, mm-hmm. I need to be at the smaller rate. It's a sacrifice somewhere along the line, and if we can figure out a way to marry that, the lower rentals to where we're at with Centennial Crossings, that would be perfection. It's just there's such a financial discrepancy, and I think that's the reason why we're having so many issues with housing.
Yeah, the thing that's
what I wanted to say out of all that.
Yeah. So the thing that I think is interesting is the Garden Court Horizon, the integrated housing project. And I think, I even hesitate anymore to use the word integrated because I think, well, it needs to be understood. It really does, because it's exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
Exactly what you're talking about. And in this particular Garden Court Horizon project, most of the homes are going to be more like Riverside Commons, the ones that just opened, and there were 48 units in that, the most recent building that was opened there, and 46 of those were spoken for just like that.
Right,
yeah. So there's definitely a need, but when we look at the Garden Court Horizon project, that integrated housing project, there are 34 units there. 8 of those are going to be permanent supportive housing. Yeah, where there's a priority list and very stringent priority list, and you have to kind of fit within that to qualify for those units. But the rest are the same as Riverside Commons. It's the same funding kind of structure for those. So what it's doing is the project is the project is covering parts of the cost of the construction so that they can be rented out at a lower rate. Yeah, than what you're talking about at Centennial Crossing.
Right.
So
I just think it's a task.
It's a task.
It's a task.
Well, and I'll tell you, we've got, this is not something that came up overnight, and it's not something that's going to solve things overnight either. But because we actually there was a group that went through the Housing Institute. There were 10 of us altogether that were involved in the Housing Institute in Bloomington, and we would go and spend 2 and 3 days at a time over 4 or 5 sessions from February through May, something like that, in 2023, I believe it was. So, and it was honestly, again, you have to be invited. You don't just show up for those. There were only 5 communities that were invited to participate in that Housing Institute. Each of us had our team there, and they put you through an intensive training to understand, how to set these up and what the concepts are behind them, and what they've learned along the way, so that we're able to draw on that. But it was United Way. This is our second Housing Institute. Garden Court, Bowen Center. They are facilitating the coordinated entry process, so they look at that prioritization. And, interesting part is when I hear people talk about their concerns, and I totally get it. That's why I hope people are able to get the information that they need as they make these decisions. I hear them talk about their concerns about children. We are as well. That prioritization list, kids are at the top of the list, right? So if we've got households, families that are needing a place to go, they're at the top of the list. And I think it's, but the concerns that they have about, violent offenders and all of those kinds of things, that's what this coordinated entry list is all about too. It's not about putting people at risk. It's about giving them a safe place to live. Yeah. So, in that safety, the neighborhood should also feel safe that there's a very specific process.
So tonight's plan commission is going to be about this week. Are you planning on going to that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I hope you do,
Yes.
because you got a lot to offer as far as what you can do, what you cannot do, and stuff like that. I mean, that's good, and I'm glad you're doing that. So thank you for doing that. I'm out
Absolutely.
of time already with you guys. I got my next guest coming in, and so we'll have a lot more to talk about. You want to just maybe I got 3 minutes, or you want to highlight something else that you guys are going on real quick? Because really we can kind of talk about this till another couple hours.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, this is an important kind of a pivotal point. If this project passes, the construction won't. We still have to go through a full application process, and so the construction wouldn't even start probably till next year. So yeah.
And I feel that's still a short time.
It is, right? Exactly,
I still feel that's a
They'll
short
be here
time.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other part that we didn't talk about, there's land available for single family units as well. So again, this could be a really nice integrated housing project, what you described,
Right.
that combination of the two. So yeah, no, we appreciate your letting us come in and talk again about what's happening at United Way.
To me personally, I know
Yeah.
you've done a lot of you're doing a lot of wonderful things and help out with agencies and stuff, but the fact that you're getting heels dug in and to try to really concentrate on this particular issue is a great thing that you're doing.
Thank
Because
you.
it's going to touch a lot of lives, and so kudos to you guys for doing that.
Thank you.
You don't have to, but you do, and we appreciate you doing that. Guys, thanks so much for coming
Thank
in
you.
today. All right, we'll talk to you
Thank
next
you.
month, and or sooner if something big happens. So we never know.
You
We
bet.
never know. That's United
you,
Way.
Tony.
We're here on Max 98.3. Coming up next, we got to talk about the Rocky football auction, get an update on where we're at. Coach Hanley's joining us. Don't go away. Welcome back. Welcome back to the second half of our Marshall County Today. Today, Max 98.3, and throughout the rest of the week, we are providing updates of the current Rocky football auction that started yesterday, and it's going to be going all the way through the 13th. Pleasure to welcome in. He's the big boss of our Rocky football program, Adam Henley. Coach, good morning. How you doing, buddy?
Good, Tony. Thanks for having me on. And like I said, I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago about just getting on here and chatting about this even for a half hour, but just kind of give everyone an update on how the auction's going. So,
all right, well, let's talk a little bit about that, because amazing amount of items up for bid.
Yeah, so 24 hours we've been open, right? And I think we've got over 92 items posted. We were at 70 something this morning, and we're getting some more. Again, they're just coming in. Like, people are dropping things off. I'm actually, as soon as we're done with this show, I'm running over to Swan Lake and grabbing some free rounds of golf. So that'll be on there later this afternoon. And we just appreciate the community. I mean, like I said, there's just so much giving in this community. They're just like, we'll give you this, we'll give you that, and it's like, really? Yeah. Like, we're on Wednesday, I'm going up to Chick-fil-A in South Bend. They're giving us 5 free value meals, 5 free kids meals, and a small.
That's worth the drive itself.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And a small. I mean, we'll make I'm sure my wife will go to Target or something like that. But it's a trip up there. But again, I think they're giving out a small tray for, like, graduation or whatever. So those items will be posted probably either Wednesday night or Thursday morning. We get those ones up there. So they're gonna keep showing in. So, like, I know Corbett talked about yesterday. Keep checking the site daily, because we're getting items as we speak. I know the original plan was to do this a little bit later in June, like on the 14th, but the way we're doing it online this year, we wanted to open it up long enough that, if you're out of town, right, we got a bunch of people that are traveling because, school just got out, you're down in the Caribbean with no Wi-Fi or something like that. You want to make sure we
can't have that.
Well, no, we can't have
that during Rocky football auction.
Absolutely not. So, but I'll give you a quick update here. I know we talked about some Holiday World tickets. Those are up to $15 right now, and the one night stay at the Morris Inn, which, if you talk to Coach Garrity, big Notre Dame fan, the Morris Inn is a spectacular place.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I've never been, but they were willing to give us a free night. Now,
it's gorgeous.
If you read the fine print, you can't use it on a football weekend, which is smart of them, because they can charge big bucks for a football weekend. But other than that, that items right now is for $4, which that's a steal of a deal. Now things are going to go up, obviously, but as of right now, that's where we're at. Right next door, the Barry's Ice Cream Berry Pass, $7. Someone's getting 1 scoop of ice cream every single week for the entire year for $7.
So that's worth it.
I mean,
and honestly, their sandwiches they have there, my God, they're amazing.
Yeah. Another one of my favorites, Rise and Roll, a dozen donuts for the year. So you're going to get 12 total dozen donuts, so 1 per month. For the year is up there right now. That's only $15. 12 bids already on it. So
there you go.
People are like understanding the importance of that. Comets hockey we talked about. Love's $100 gas gift card. I mean, that's a true $100. I mean, it's a $100 gift card. Someone understands the value of that. They bid $40 on that one. Another fun one that we've got on here is the Fort Knox paintball over in Knox. It's I believe it's 8 passes, VIP passes, which is probably over $200 value, because paintballs aren't cheap, and all the extra rental fees and stuff like that. Super fun time. We got 18 bids right now on the South Bend Cubs game. So I believe, I'm not going to say the right dates. Hold on, give me 1 second. I believe it's August. It's a Thursday in August. I believe it's August 22nd is the game. And it's 20 tickets, 4 parking passes, and a $100 food voucher. So that's a good value right there. That bid's up to $80 already. Oliver Ford has donated a trip again. They always are awesome enough to do that. And Planet Fitness is giving out a 12-month membership, which I don't know what the fees are going for these days for that, but that's up for bid. Let me go to page 2 here. We're just rolling through page 1. Mayor for a day. Hang out with Robert Listenberg. I mean, I might just buy it for myself just to hang out with Robert for the day. Lots of free pizzas on there. I know there's a bunch of items, like I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 different pizza items, but it's a free pizza from Papa John's. That's right. 2 of them. So that may sell for $5, but you're getting 2 free pizzas. Pollywood, they donated an Adirondack chair with the side table, which is a super nice item. Pretty Lake Golf is on there. The Gathering Grays Charcuterie LLC. I believe it's a new company.
That's brand new business. And matter of fact, they're going to be opening up here shortly.
Yeah.
Oh, they made this one feta cheese dip that I bought at the farmer's market. Holy crap, was it delicious?
Yeah. Yes.
Unbelievable.
So I again hadn't heard about them, but one
So
of
you got a
our
testimonial here.
one of our parents picked that one up for us, and just a quick shout out to all of them. We had at least 10 different sets of parents that have been going around town the last couple of weeks, gathering items,
Good.
calling people. Obviously we as a coaching staff couldn't do it all. We're finishing up school, giving out finals, and all that kind of stuff. So our parents have definitely jumped in and done a great job with that. But the Charcuterie LLC is up to $75. It's two bottles of wine, a nice charcuterie board, and then I believe like a large board that you can purchase from them as well. So that's a cool item. Some stuff from Purely Chiropractic. They did a good job. Culver's, a free meal at Culver's. So it's 2 kids meals and 2 free value baskets with 2 additional scoops of ice cream. So I mean, I nothing against
Sold.
Culver's. It's not
Sold.
cheap there, but that is a fantastic. Yeah, Christos has given us a bunch of gift certificates. Those are going from anywhere from $10 to $12 to $30 each. So we got case of Coke for a month per year. So we're talking 12 cases of Coke or Coke product from the Coke factory over there. Where are we at here? Bath and Body Works. That one's still looking for a bid. That looks like two candles, maybe some body scrubs. I think that would look good for your skin there, Tony.
Yeah, it would. I can use it.
You could use it.
Getting old sucks,
I
dude.
can never even say this. La Dessert Cafe.
La Dessert.
Yes.
La Dessert.
They're giving us a cheesecake.
Are they really?
8.5 inch gourmet cheesecake.
Top notch, man.
So everyone, obviously, there's 6 bids already on that in 24 hours. People understand
if
that.
you ate at West Rail or Swan Lake and had the desserts, that's what you're tasting.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
Cheesecake, top notch.
That's
man.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
They know what
fantastic.
they're doing over there.
That's good stuff. So anyway, they're giving us a cheesecake, so you can definitely bid on that. The Culver Marina, they always give us I shouldn't say always, but most of the time they give us a pontoon rental. So obviously you can't use it on the weekends, but Monday through Thursday, a pontoon rental. That's a cool item that there. Culligan gives us salt, King Buffet, King Jewelry, power wash. If you need your driveway power washed, they're giving us a free 2-car garage driveway power wash.
There you go.
I don't know if there's any stipulations on how many feet, but I would assume that there's some sort of, fine print on that one. But that one's got 16 different bids already on it.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty cool. Quick Lanes, a fun family fun day. So 2 hours, all you can bowl, up to 6 people on that one. Kate Spade, FH Decks and Landscaping is giving us some fertilizer application. Blueberry Festival, this is a really cool one. It's a mega pass included, a bunch of Blueberry Festival items that are on there. These are some of the items that actually just got posted within the last hour. So make sure we're checking on that. Family Pool Pass, I believe that's from the Parks Department, the Family Pool Pass. Some items from Plymouth High School. So I think this is let me double check on this. Yeah, 2 sport passes. So provides entry to 2 people, all PHS and LJS and Riverside, obviously excluding the tournaments, donated from Josh Troyer in the athletic department.
Good.
So they're giving us
Good.
2 sport passes, and I believe there's a T-shirt or a blanket with that if you look online. You got anything to pitch in while I just keep rambling on? You want me to keep rolling?
I wanted people to know the contributions. part,
absolutely.
man.
Yeah. Ink Style Studio right down the street from us here. They're giving us $100 off a tattoo and $40 off a piercing of sorts. And Fitness Forum, the Lifeplex over there, some tanning options, personal training options, family swim pass. Marta Bagley and Sensi has donated a big package as well. Ella and Ava Boutique, Wristlet, they've given us a gift bag. Bowen Printing, Sensi again. We're talking, there's a, not Oliver Ford, but Oliver Winery, some wine on there. Oh, if you got some pets, there's two different of our vet clinics in town have donated big value baskets. Got some different toys in there, some snacks, some treats, things like that. This is a new one. I haven't even seen this one. A DeWalt paddle switch small angle grinder. I don't see where this one's donated from, so we'll definitely get them and find out where that was donated from to make sure we get them the credit. So 92 items as of right now. And again, we had 70 yesterday at this time, so we've added another 22 items. And I know for a fact, because I printed off the certificates, we've got a couple things with the football program. So if you're an elementary student, Get to have lunch and recess with a couple football guys come over to your elementary school, whether you're at Webster, Menominee, all of them, Jefferson, Washington. You could have football players come over and hang out with you, eat lunch, and that was a cool item last year. The cheerleaders have donated a free clinic and also opportunity to be on the sideline with them during a football game and a basketball game. We've got a couple of parking passes like we've done in the years past to get front row parking at the football games. So just again, those items are going to keep coming in. I know that the guys over at Oakcrest are just getting items as they come in and trying to take pictures and get them posted. So just kind of bear with us while we get those.
And of course,
going.
yesterday, probably the biggest prize was our donation.
And
If you want to become
that is true.
part of a Rocky broadcast for football this year, you need to bid on it. And
I need to make it. We heard Corbett told me about it, and I didn't catch the segment yesterday, but he told me about it, and I need to get the certificate printed out and get over. Yes,
and that's good for a Rocky football game. A quarter to do, maybe even more. Depends
on how well you do.
Depending how good you do,
you may get hired easy.
You may get hired very quickly, as a matter of fact. But yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, and we're going to do it at the Concord game, which is the final home game of the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to finish off with a bang, and please bid. We're going to have fun with us, and we're going to put you to work.
Absolutely.
So and have fun in the process.
Yeah, so just a one little thing to where you're picking up the items on Friday. So the auction will close at 6 p.m. on Thursday. And one thing that I thought was really cool when I was talking to the guys over at Oakcrest to do this, just because of the internet and sometimes there's a little bit of a buffer with people trying to finalize their bid. It takes a couple minutes to finalize it. If you bid between 5:58 and 6 p.m. and a bid comes through at 5:58 or 5:59, that exact, not the whole thing, but just that item will extend to 6:02. So that 2-minute window there, just to make sure we're making sure everyone's getting their bids in. I know it's, people in the past have been the hard cutoff at 6 o'clock or when we were doing the radio and stuff like that. But it was an interesting way that they told me that they make sure that they kind of finalize everyone's bid in that last 2-minute window. So if you were to place a bid at 5:59, you may not because my guess is a bunch of people will try and place a bid at 5:59.
Yeah, exactly.
Would be my guess, and everyone wants that last bid. But if you want to guarantee that last bid is yours, make sure you bid high enough. And then at 6:02, if no one bids again from 6 o'clock to 6:02, then it closes. But if you see someone, you're like, man, at 6:01, you just got outbid, you could throw a bid in at 6:01, and then it would extend again till 6:04. I know it's kind of confusing, so people don't understand that, and we've been trying to post that as well. Just to make sure that, like I said, everyone gets that bid in, and then if you didn't get the bid, you have a little bit of a window to check to see if that was you. So again, if the items are not bidding on at 5:58 or 5:59, it will close at 6 o'clock on Thursday.
There you go.
And the last thing maybe is just how the bid increments go. This is all posted on their website too, but just in case you didn't see the little fine print, any bid between $0 and $20, you can increase it by $1. Once you get over that $20 threshold, you have to start bidding by $2.50. So there's just kind of like a little bit of a window. Instead of bidding everything by $1, they have to, it's all part of the system and how it works. Once you get over $50, you got to increase it by $5, and then if you end up bidding over $100, you have to bid in $10 increments. So it just kind of keeps everything flowing in the right direction versus $1, and just their site might crash or something like that because of all these $1 increments. So once you get to that window. It's kind of a new thing for us. I know Corbett talked about it yesterday, just an opportunity to do something easier, I should say, for us. And the Fridays and things like that, it got a little hectic and, before Father's Day and trying to get items out and stuff like that. So they were willing enough to let us do it online this year.
So go to Oakcrest Auctions.
Yeah.
And find the bids.
Yeah.
Be right there.
Yeah.
So we wish them the best of luck, and everybody best of luck on this. How's the program going right now in your off season?
Yeah, we're doing well. I mean, obviously we had the opportunity to do some spring practices and stuff like that, which the IHSA allows us to do, and numbers were great. Numbers were great, up in the 50s, 60s sometimes, which is great to see. And I hate it for guys that are in spring sports, track guys and baseball guys. But if they didn't have a game and they didn't have a late practice or they weren't coming home from an away meet, they usually came in and because we're doing them at 6 a.m. And that's tough sometimes to get up, especially a high school student. But I had some kids that were not in a sport short that were like, Coach, can we start at 5:30? Can we start at 5:15? Like,
Wow.
they're just hungry, right? And it's awesome to see because, you know, that's where we're at as a program. You know, unfortunately, we all would have loved to have more wins last year, but it is what it is, you know. But this offseason's been great. We've got guys that are dying to get back out together, and you know, even during baseball season, some of them are like, hey, you know, what's the plan with football, and just checking in on me. You know, they're still all in with Coach Wolf and baseball and that kind of stuff, which I want them to be. But you know, they're still checking in. Hey, you know, what's going on with football? When's this going on with football? Just to make sure that they're not missing anything, because you know it's a priority for them. And so we're excited. Obviously, we got some guys back from injury last year. You know, Carter Bush will be back on defense for us. He's 100% healthy and, you know, as strong as an ox. I mean, he's our leading power cleaner in the weight room right now. Imagine if he didn't get hurt, had the whole shoulder surgery, right? He'd be probably over 300 pounds. So it's great to see his recovery coming back healthy, and you know, the rest of the senior group. So this is that group that I inherited when I got here. You know, they were all sophomores, and we went through that trial of fire of 15 of them playing on a Friday night.
It was what it was.
Yeah.
And the good news is it'll be different this year. And staying healthy, obviously, is always something you hope for. But I think the way it sounds, that you got more than 22 that you can put on the field right now and not miss a beat in some certain positions.
Exactly.
Key positions.
Absolutely. And that's kind of the best part, you know. And we got this thing rolling 2 years ago. We had kids playing because there was nobody behind them, right? But if you're not getting the job done this year, I mean, it doesn't matter what grade you are. If you're a senior, you've been doing this for 2 years, but there's a junior or sophomore even that's doing
wings, man. They're hungry.
They're hungry, right? You know, and we're going to play the best kid out there. And you know, and again, I know it's great to build them up on the JV, but if they're ready to play varsity football, we're going to put them out there.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's not at this point in the game. We got to win games. You know,
well, I'm excited for you, man. I think this is going to be a different year, a good year for you guys. It's like, okay, all the hard knocks we've gone through.
Sure.
We're going to start seeing some of this dividend paying off.
Absolutely.
So I'm very excited to see how you guys are going to finish after it's all said and done. And there's still going to be some growth in some key spots. But,
absolutely.
you know, that's nothing. And I just love your coaching staff. I think you got a hell of a coaching staff. And so I just look forward to a good year for you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we're excited to get rolling.
Anything else, bud? I know you got to get back to school here real quick, but
you know, it's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. Summer break already, right? So
there we go.
We're good. But yeah, well, no, I think so. Just keep checking on the auction. You can find the links on our Facebook, our Instagram. It's in the Pilot News as well. We've got a QR code in there. You scan that, it should bring you right to the site as well. So if there's that, and if you can't, you know, find it. If you go to straight Google and just Google Oakcrest Auctions, it'll bring you to their site. But yeah, let us know if you got any questions. And again, keep checking back, because we're gonna get, like I said, I'm leaving here and going to Swan Lake to get some free rounds of golf. So those will get posted at some point in the next 24 hours, hopefully.
Well, this is all good cup of coffee right here. So let's continue. And I know, are you coming back tomorrow or someone else?
It'll be Kevin Garrity.
Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin Garrity's playing on.
G coming in. Good. So we'll talk with him. This is going to be a fun week to help promote your updating of the Rocky football auction. Get to Oakcrest.com, is it?
I believe it's oakcrestauctions.com. Yeah.
Get there and get bidding, okay? Please do that. All right, Coach. Thanks for joining us, babe.
No
Good
problem.
to see you as always.
Appreciate
I'm glad
it,
to hear the good update about the boys, too.
Yeah.
It's only going to get better here in the next couple months. So.
Absolutely.
All right, 12 minutes to the top of the hour, and that'll wrap it up for us here on Max 98.3 and the Marshall County Today Show. We'll do it again, same bat time, same bat station tomorrow.